Have you ever been woken up in the middle of the night dehydrated and went into the kitchen to grab a drink of water? How about maybe waking up to use the restroom? If you have done any of this, many of these times it's a pretty normal thing to do, right? Maybe you haven't been drinking enough water, or you drank way too much right before bed. Nothing that I'm telling you is cause for alarm, except a few times of doing these things that something makes it feel unnerving. You know what it's like to feel someone in a schoolroom or inside of a gas station, such as the cashier watching you. It's like you feel their eyes. The energy they give off sends a signal to your body and you feel it in your spine. It's the same reason most people do not feel a camera watching them. But maybe your instincts allows for the discovery of one watching you. Maybe nothing left you to discover the camera, but you had a suspicion of being watched and looked around the room to see maybe if there was one. These are two different types of feelings, one of where it is a physical being such as a person or animal watching you, and the other is an inanimate object like a camera. Either way, you still feel something is, or could be watching you. That makes your eyes shift around the room to find the cause. Can you recall any moments of being watched inside your own home? Whether it was late at night or even in the middle of the day, grabbing a tool out of the garage, or walking up the stairs late at night to go to your room to sleep. Maybe you have done this a million times before with nothing strange happening except for the few times. What is it that causes you to feel watched all of a sudden when you know you're the only one in the house? Could it be as something simple as a rat inside your home watching you? Watching and waiting for you to leave so it can steal some food? Or do you think it is something more? Something that you cannot explain, but if you had to put a word to it, it would be supernatural? Many would say this is a primal part of how our brain copes with the world. An old survival mechanic of the days where we wore loincloths and threw spears to catch prey. I'd say otherwise. My earliest memory of something supernatural was when I was a child in the 90s. This took place in the southern part of Georgia in the middle of the day at my home. My sisters and cousins were watching movies downstairs in the living room, and I was playing with my toys in the dining room nearby. I guess the movie they were watching ended, and my eldest sister called for me to go to her room that was upstairs and grab her another movie. I can vividly remember not having an issue with this until I headed to the stairs. When I got to the bottom of the stairs to go up, I remember feeling a presence at the top of the stairs. But nothing was there, and at the very moment of hesitating to go up, I noticed the top of the stairs began to grow dark. I quickly headed back to my toys and told my sister that I did not want to go grab the movie for her, to which she responded, "Stop being a pussy and get it." After my sister teasing me, and then eventually my cousins jumping in, I eventually decided to go upstairs to grab the movie for them. It's not that I didn't want to help out, but for some reason my child mind was scared of something I couldn't explain. At the time, nor to this day, as an adult for the matter. So there I was at the bottom of the stairs again, but this time the dark presence was not at the top. I could still feel it, but it felt as if it had went down the hallway, bringing the darkness with it. I went up the stairs slowly, and as I reached the top step and turned the corner to proceed to my sister's room, I remember trying to rationalize what I was looking at. At the end of the hallway is where my eldest sister's room was, and at the end of the hallway where I felt the presence move to was no longer darkness, but a void engulfing all light. Needless to say, I was very scared at this point and yelled down to my sister that I was scared and needed help. Quickly hearing that, my sisters and my cousins started laughing and told me to grab the movie already. I think my eldest sister knew something was up. It didn't become known to me later in life that my sister had paranormal things happen inside of her room that both my parents couldn't confirm. My sister is the type of person who finds humor in scaring people because she is a big scaredy cat. So it doesn't seem so strange for her wanting me to go up there, because she clearly did not want to take the risk of grabbing the movie herself, and especially me unknowingly giving her hints that something weird was happening. I was a pretty brave kid back in the day. I would try and pet alligators, climb up 100-foot trees, or even try and pick up rattlesnakes. But it took everything I had to muster enough courage to go down that hallway. Oddly enough, going down the dark hallway was easy. It was until I got to my sister's door where things took a turn. I can't remember it exactly to the T. I'm having trouble remembering if I was feeling nothing, or if the presence was so strong as I stood at the door to my sister's room that it made me feel numb. Either way, when I opened the door, I wasn't ready for what I saw next. I opened the door somewhat quickly and nothing was weird at all. I could see my sister's bed, her dresser with a vanity mirror, and the TV sitting on her TV stand with a collection of movies underneath, all at once with a quick glance. But the longer I stared, the more quickly I realized I was being watched, and then I saw it. In the opposite side of the room, towards the top of the ceiling in the corner of the leftmost wall, there was a void. A shadowy mass that resembled a cloud in shape, but so dark it sucked the light nearby out of the room. I remember being immediately paralyzed, as if a deer struck in the car's headlights, feeling immense fear and terror at what I was witnessing and lack of any answers. Even at only 6 years old, not long enough to understand much in the world, I knew that this was not normal. I knew that whatever this was similar to the scary things I've seen my eldest sister watch in her horror films. Something to be afraid of and not to mess with at all. The longer I stared at the shadowy mass in the corner of the room, the more it began to take shape. A face of an animal started to form in the middle, and it was the face of an owl. White-faced with big black eyes staring back down at me. The energy was intense, and even as I'm telling you this now, the hairs on my skin are standing up. I feel a chill in the room and my eyes are watering, as if it was the same fear when I was a child, somehow imprinted in me forever. I quickly slammed the door and ran downstairs, still feeling the glare of the eyes of the owl on me. I didn't begin to feel relief until I made it to my family down below, as if I made it to home base. My family was in the middle of talking about something I do not recall. I remember telling my sister immediately that there was something upstairs in her room and that I was very afraid. You'd think after all that teasing my sister gave me with my cousins, she would continue to do the same thing, but she took it very seriously this time, seeing the fear in my eyes. Even my other sister knew something was up. My cousins continued to make jokes about me being scared, but my eldest sister told them that she would go grab the movie instead, while my other sister told them let's just do something else to avoid the situation altogether. I remember being scared for my eldest sister and telling her not to go. My eldest sister had her run into her own room to grab the movie and run out, because my other sister did not want to go with her down the hallway. As an adult, I have told this story to my eldest sister, but she claims to have no memory of it, or barely remembers when my cousins were over that day. But not to the extent of her running to grab the movie because I was terrified of her room. She did tell me of the times paranormal things would happen, such as doors opening or slamming and things of that nature. But none of the stories she chose to talk about even came remotely close to what I saw in her room. When I was a child, I would remember having dreams of waking up out of my bed in first person, walking to the bedroom door, opening it to walk down the hallway out to the balcony, stepping up on top of the handrail and jumping off. This all felt so real that I would wake up in the middle of the night breathing heavily and sweating. And the home that I grew up in was in the forest, and sometimes at 1 or 3 in the morning I would sneak out in the pitch black darkness with nothing but the stars or moon to give me light. I will remember my vivid imagination came to life in the darkness. I would see cryptid things that I should not be seeing, manifest itself into view and lunge to attack me, disappearing right before the strike. I can't explain why I would go out into the woods late at night. because now in my adult life I am so terrified to even go into my own backyard in the suburbs, where I live now without all the exterior lights of the house on and my own personal flashlight. Something tells me as an adult you are less spiritually connected to the world, and not able to see things thanks to the attuned adult mind, where worrying more about paying bills and taking care of the family has taken center stage, or the fact the brain has developed more to perceive our third dimension better. I can't say personally this is my problem, but having bills to worry about does lessen the fear and stress of having invisible eyes on you in the day or night. I have spoken to a friend I met later in life that has helped me to understand the events that happened to me as a child with the owl. From his research and personal experience, he believes that it was a spirit of this world naturally attuned to me. Like times of old, where spirits took the form of shapes of animals and conveyed with tribespeople and communed the secrets of the world. He went on further to say that not everyone has this natural affinity to talk with spirits, let alone even see them. This is why you have some skeptics in the world who refuse to entertain the idea of ghosts because they have never had anything happen to them at all, and are quick to write it off as something to be rationally explained. I'm not sure if my friend is correct or not, but I do see the merit in what he says. He also told me the only reason we are afraid of what we witness is simply because we do not understand, and that these spirits can be talked to and persuaded to chill out, or they can help you in your life. This goes off on a whole other story, but do you think any of this sounds remotely possible? Whatever reason you think is happening when you go into the kitchen late at night or the bathroom and feel eyes on you as your own, but ask yourself this. Do you think it's possible you have an affinity to sense things unseen? Something perhaps not of our third dimension, but of another entirely. I am a big fan of science, but I know an actual scientist may shut down my ideas fast with this kind of talk. It's okay though, as this planet, solar system, and universe for that matter is big as the human's time in it is small. There is many paths to researching the spiritual mysteries of the world. More common ones known are the pagan gods, such as Thor or Loki, or the more devious ones that require child sacrifices during times of crisis, such as Baal. Next time you find yourself in the middle of the night and get a strong sensation of someone staring at you, or even a feeling of someone in your face yelling at you, stop, stand your ground and ask it to either leave or that you want peace and see what happens. I can't tell you whatever it is will leave you in peace, or get more aggressive, but for that reason is why I tell you to attempt this on your own free will. Thank you for listening to one of my many experiences I've had with the supernatural. I feel as if there is more to this world that is yet to be discovered or understood, and that we are simply floating on a sheet of our own conscious reality. If you have any stories of the supernatural that you would like for me to share on my channel, please reach out to me and let me know. If you would like more of these videos, please like and subscribe, and also leave a comment for feedback as I'd like to read it. Anyways, you guys stay safe out there. Peace.